Welcome to Module 8. Module 8 of the Experiential Education process is going to focus on what we can learn about life choices in movies, television, books, and games. Now, some of you may have preconceived notions about the value of the educational value of these things, but I must warn you that you might be underestimating the power of these three venues. Let's examine each one of them on how they affect our life choices. My favorite film for business is Network, a 1976 Paddy Chayefsky film. Paddy Chayefsky is an excellent screenwriter, and his best work was this film, in my opinion. I know a little bit about movies. I wrote books on film for Amazon.com. You can put my name in Amazon.com and find out all my non-selling books or very low-selling books. In any event, um, Paddy Chayefsky wrote a great screenplay for Network, 1976, and in that film is a speech by Ned Beatty, a wonderful B actor, uh, and he gives a speech in a um, company room for executives to a network commentator who's gone a bit off the deep end. And he explains to him that he really doesn't understand the universe, that there are no countries, there are no people, there are no religions, there are no um, ideas or laws or anything like that. There are only multinational companies, and multinational companies rule the world, and multinational companies control your life, and you have absolutely nothing to say about it. Now, at the time the film came out, this seemed to be a preposterous notion, but as time evolved, it appeared as if that Beatty's speech had a lot to do with the reality of the emergence of multinationals in our society. So that one can learn a lot from this film, and one can learn a lot about finance and power by watching how the movie evolves. Um, let's also look at how you can learn from games. I currently play a lot of games with my son, Joseph, during this particular crisis, which I kind of like doing. Um, we play Monopoly, which is a highly instructive game. Um, I think it's the right lighting here. Yeah, okay. Um, we play Monopoly, which obviously teaches you a lot about finance. You can't build um, expensive houses when you don't have a lot of money. You can't buy expensive properties when you don't have a lot of money. Um, I've seen instances where you can win with Oriental and Connecticut, the inexpensive properties on the first row. You build hotels, they stop in your hotel, game over, you lose. You lost to Oriental and Connecticut. Meanwhile, you're holding your boardwalk and Park Place with one house that charges $200, and now you lost the game. So, what does that tell us? Well, um, my father used to always buy Boardwalk and Park Place, and my father would always lose. I mean, he must have lost over 80% of the time. So, one would think that, Boardwalk and Park Place must be the best properties, they're the most expensive. But my father lost 80% of the time with them. I, on the other hand, bought the cheap properties, um, Baltic and Mediterranean, Vermont, Connecticut, and maybe the Orange, New York, Tennessee, St. James, and the purple ones with St. Charles and Virginia and states. These are not expensive properties. These are properties that can be managed while you're trying to gain a little bit of financial, you need cash, basically. And so you have to build your cash before you can build your houses. And then you build your houses and collect rents, and that's how you win the game. But some people make the mistake of spending too much money too early in the game. They buy things like Pennsylvania and Pacific. They buy Boardwalk and Park Place. And it's nice to have those properties, but as I mentioned, they seldom win the game. What wins the game are the low price properties. So maybe there's a lesson to be learned in this. I'm not sure. But you certainly do learn a lot of economic principles in the game of Monopoly. Another game I play with my son is Forge of Empires, and Forge of Empires teaches you how to um, adjust. You have to learn how to adjust to new circumstances. Look at coronavirus. I mean, you have to be able to adjust to new circumstances. So, Forge of Empires says, well, this is what you did in the Stone Age. And the Stone Age was taken over by the people in the Metal Ages. And the Metal Age people were taken over by the people who mastered the wheel, the chariot, and the people who mastered the chariot, and it goes on and on and on. So, each age has its own problems. You have to moderate your own behavior within that age. You have to build accordingly. You can't overbuild. You can't put too much in national defense because then you don't develop your economy. You have to develop your economy. It's very important. Those games are very instructive, and the movies can be very instructive, and books, of course. As a former reference librarian from New York Public Library, 4 years, I used to love sifting through books on China. I've read over 1,000 books on China, 2,000 books on China. East Asian Library at Columbia University. It's just wonderful to go through all of these books. Um, there's good news and bad news about books. As a former reference librarian, I can tell you that 80% of the books are useless and worthless. um, they have some information that is of value, but most of them are dated. When business books start talking about checks here, the check, there's no more checks, okay? They don't have phone apps, they don't have computer apps, they don't even mention the computer. And so all of these books are outdated. Um, so unfortunately, maybe about 20% of the books are really uh, functional as far as business is concerned. So in the area of business books, you have to make sure that they're up to date, that they have phone apps, that they have computer apps, that they recognize the importance of e-portfolios and how presentations are important for sales, that they maintain good advertising techniques and instructional materials. And you have to incorporate all of these things to have a successful website. And websites are extremely important to any business. I don't know of any business that does not have a website now. So you have to be able to navigate easily on your company's website and be able to improve upon it to show your value to your potential company and employer. Once you become an expert on your company's website, you have a chance to improve the bottom line of your company, which is why we develop our presentations and team presentations and e-portfolios to show our value to our potential employers for an interview for a multinational. So we can be like Ned Beatty and Network in 1976. No, we don't have to be that way. We can be ethical. We can be humanistic. We can make lots of money. We can do all of these things depending on the composition of your emotional and ethical makeup. So there you have it. You have books that can help you immensely. There are online libraries which are free and extensive. Personally, I enjoy going to online libraries more than physical libraries now, which are more difficult to attend and take books out, bring books back. It's much easier to do electronic research. So I understand completely when you do electronic research for my papers, you don't have to go to the library, but you should visit just as a pro forma experience. It's a good experience to go to the library and check out some of the books that are classics like Sun Tzu and The Art of War, which is used by most businesses. Um, so you have hopefully gained a bit of insight into movies, games, and books for avenues of exploration to decide to make some of your life choices. Oh, I like that, or that doesn't appeal to me at all. Eventually, you will come to, oh, this is really interesting, and that's a good indication of something that may be in your future. So good luck with your hunting and good luck with your life choices. And let's move on to Module 9 next time. Until then, this is Professor Tafaro saying keep your team presentations going and get ready for your individual presentation process, which will begin very shortly. Take care now. Bye-bye.